Hey guys, this is Dustin from Top Deck, and today we'll be showcasing a Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon deck profile. Too funny, I was actually talking to somebody that picked up some cards for me off of eBay, and they had said they were building a Max Dragon deck, and I was like, yeah, I actually have one put together. It's a fun deck. I loved it. I actually used it at my locals quite a bit, and took first place on it. And he was asking me about what I was using in it and some of the cards, and I figured I would jump on here and just do a deck profile real quick. Because I think it's a great deck, especially going into the new format. Not a lot of people are maining stuff to get rid of Max Dragon. So if he gets out there, I mean, he's a tough card to deal with. Plenty of OTK strategies in the deck. I think it's real strong actually, and I think people kind of sleep on the deck. I know it's really reliant on adding cards to deck, so the Droll and Lockbird is pretty heavy against it. But I think we're starting to see less and less of that, because spirals were a big thing, and they're still out there, but I really don't think that deck was as strong as what people are thinking, because it's kind of bricky, and I just think there's a lot better decks out there than Spiral. So I don't think too many people are going to be maining Droll and Lockbird. I know it'll be in their side, but I mean, you can protect against it. I mean, there's cards that you can throw in there, if you know your opponent's, playing Droll and Lockbird. So, um, but without further ado, let's get into that deck profile here. So, first things first, we are obviously playing 3 of the big boy here, Max Dragon. So pretty much your opponent's got to get over this in battle. I mean, it's non-targetable. It can't be destroyed by card effects. It's 4,000, and it does double piercing damage. Which is key. There's a lot of combos you can go into. Attacking into a weak defense position monster. Putting one over on your opponent's side, which I'll be showing you here. He's great. If you get him on the board there, I mean, it's pretty much OTK for you, unless your opponent's playing a real heavy back row deck, you know what I mean? That can be kind of difficult. That's really where the deck struggles, is against back row. But again, you keep your side up to take out back row there, but definitely running 3 of him. And then I choose to only main 2 of the smaller guy here. Now, he's got the same effects. He's non-targetable and everything like that. And but he's key with Chaos Max on the field, because he changes all the battle phases of the monster and turns their attack and defense into 0. So if your opponent has a couple monsters on the board, you can put them in defense mode with him, turn their defense to 0, and then attack into him with Chaos Max Dragon. So he's good. I just don't think playing 3 is really necessary. But he definitely comes up. So I would run him at 2. It seems like a good number. And then yes, we're obviously playing 3 of the Blue Eyes White Dragons. Pretty optimal in this deck if you're running Advanced Ritual Arts in the deck. So. And you need him to get out your Max Dragons and the regular Chaos Dragon. Now I am using the Incantation engine, so I choose to use 2 of the Talismandra, 2 of the Kandal, 1 of each of the Book and Pen. It doesn't really come up all that much, going into the graveyard. I mean, really, you want to go second with this deck and really just OTK rate then and there. But I keep 1 in there in case you go into a little bit later a game. But, I have so many cards in here that'll search all the tools to get him out. So I only play 1 of each of them. And then I play 3 Chell Slime. Now, Charleston, I think, is the best out of all of them. He's easy. You just discard a card to, special summon any of the MCANs, and that's included himself. So you could discard himself and throw it there. So that's the engine that I'm using for the MCANs, and it seems pretty solid. And then for additional support and searching rituals, I play Manju. I think he's great. For the normal summon of the deck, he can add either or. He's light too, level 4. He's a good monster. I think he's good in the deck. And then for another part of a combo, I choose to run Zaborg. Now, I was playing him at 3, but it got kind of bricky, so I dropped him down to 2. Now, the play with him, you obviously have the MCAMs on the field. I mean, there's not like hardly any decks out there that actually tribute summon anymore, but when you get the MCANs on the field and you've got a couple extra out of there, on there, you can sack 2 to put him on the field. And if your opponent happens to have a light monster, you can pop with him. Then great. But if not, you pop him, and since he's a level 8, you send 8 cards from your extra deck to the graveyard, and then 8 of your opponents. And if it's a light monster that you pop, which is himself, you get to pick the 8 that you send from your opponent's extra deck there. So that's really, that can be real detrimental to them. But I know they probably in turn 2, they've went through a lot of their extra deck, but really it's for you to really go in, and you'll see in the side deck, but I guess I'll show you're going to be, running the copies. That's the combo that you're gonna be running with these 2 guys right here. You know what I mean? 1 sends for pops and 1 sends for ritual card or monster searches. But I think he's a good little combo to have in there. I mean, it's really impactful when it goes off. Popping 3 cards on the field, and then you get to add 3 spells, ritual spells or ritual monsters to your hand, just to further extend, your combos there. So I think he's really, really strong in the deck there. So onto the spell cards. We are running 3 of the chaos forms. Pretty self-explanatory here. You can send the Blue Eyes from your hand to the graveyard or banish it from graveyard, to get out any of your Max Dragons guys there. So definitely running 3 of them, and then I also run 3 Advanced Ritual Arts. In my opening hand, I want to see this, or I want to see Chaos form. I mean, this runs out of gas. I understand that, but I still think I I want to see one of them in my hand or get to them as quick as possible, so I run them at 3. I mean, if I get a few of them out on the field, my second turn or my first turn, but going second, I mean, it's easy to produce an OTK with this deck. So you know what I mean. It's optimal. I want to see these cards in my hand, so I run them at 3. As for searching, I play 3 melodies. This is great in the deck. You discard and you can add 2. You can add pretty much any of your, your Blue Eyes, your Chaos Max Dragon, the regular Chaos Dragon, right to your hand. You can add 2 of them. So this is really nice to have in the deck. And I don't main alternative. I honestly thought he was kind of a brick in the deck. It's nice to have a 3K body on board and you can pop, but I just felt he wasn't needed. I mean, the main goal was to get out Max Dragon and go into a combo with him, and I just felt like the Zaborg combo was just, it was a lot stronger than just getting a 3K body on board that can, pop. So I just really, I had him in the deck at first, and I just, I really didn't think he was all that necessary in the deck. And as for this card, obviously you have less level 8s in there because I cut down 3 but only added 2 Zaborg, but still there's plenty of fodder for this card. This is great. It's like a pot of greed for the deck. You know what I mean? You've got plenty of your level 8 guys to discard, to draw 2. So this card's great. You must have that in the draw. Now as far as an OTK combo, creature swap is perfect. If you get an MCAN on the board, you know what I mean, you just can give it to your opponent. They got to give you one of their monsters, and you attack right into the MCAN that's got 0 defense with the Max Dragon, and it's game. I mean, this is a quick little combo, and, it ends duels real quick. You know what I mean? And you can, get good monsters from your opponent there, you know what I mean? Because if they've got 2 or 3 really good monsters on the field, I mean, they've got to fork over one of them, and they're getting an MCAN monster in defense mode with zero defense, you know what I mean? So unless they've got your back row to stop you, I mean, that's pretty much game. So definitely play 3 of those. And then something I brought back to the deck, I was playing and I took it out, and then now I think right now especially Swords of Concealing Light. Now, this can have a couple different purposes. Now, putting all of your opponent's monsters face down in defense mode is great. I mean, it can stop some effects that may be open on their field for one, and then obviously two, it puts everything in defense mode for your Chaos Max Dragon to attack into. But say there's negates on the board and everything, putting stuff face down in defense mode can stop a lot of that stuff so you can continue with your combos. So this is really nice. So I brought this back into the deck and at 3. I think it's a real clutch card for the deck there. So that's pretty much it for the main deck. It's a clean 40. And then as far as the extra deck, really I just keep the guys in here for sending off Zaborg. I play the Elder Entity. This is the one that gets a pop card, so you send all 3 of these and you get to pop 3 cards on the field. And then along with that combo, you're sending Herald, and he will add either a ritual spell card or monster right to your hand. So, you're sending all 6 of these to the graveyard, and you have to send 8. So you can really pick, the extra deck really doesn't matter here other than these cards. I mean, you're not doing, any real link summoning. One card I would definitely throw in there, though. I have copies of it. I just haven't dug into them. This profile was kind of on the fly here. But Cross Shape is definitely good in the deck, because you can use your MCAMs to go into stuff. You could even, if you get, one here is, you can do Tornado Dragon for back row. Even if you're forced to go first, you've got level 4s in there, so you could go into an Abyss Dweller just to create some disruption to your opponent, because there's a lot of stuff in the graveyards going on right now. So, playing him isn't bad. You could really even throw in the Utopia double combo or anything like that, because you've got level 4s to go into. So that's what I would say. Use Cross Sheep. Use any good level 4 XCs. Like I said, getting rid of back row is definitely key. So the Tornado Dragon comes in. I don't have a side deck put together for this right now. I just kind of have my common side deck that I have built for a lot of my decks that I use. That just has some back row hate in it. Like evenly matches and stuff like that would be good for the side deck. Twin Twisters, Lightning Storm. I feel like the side decks right now are pretty similar in the matter of what they're maining, because there's just a lot of board clearing cards. So I'll probably put an updated full list later on down the road. But like I said, this one was kind of on the fly. He was building it. I think he may have been new to the deck or something like that. So, I played this deck a lot and I love it. You know what I mean? And, I think he can be quite competitive because, like I said, getting out a boss monster like Max is really tough to deal with, and people aren't baiting stuff to really deal with that card. It's non-targetable and it's a 4,000, beater that does piercing, and the deck has plenty of ways to put stuff in defense mode on your opponent's side of the field, or you give monsters to them to attack into. It's just, I love the deck. And like I said, one of its, hard points in is, back row. It's tough with back row. And then, like I said, Droll and Lockbird can really shut the deck down, if you didn't draw into some of your stuff that, you needed to get them out. But, like I said, you have drawing power in the deck. So it's not like that you can't use trade in to get a couple cards to your hand. And at least with Drone Lockbird, you're getting one of your searches off. So hopefully by then you're getting there anyway. So Drone Lockbird, it doesn't shut it down completely. You can still play, but it just, it puts a damper on it for that turn. So, but it's definitely a cool deck. I would recommend anybody picking it up and playing with it. You know what I mean? It's not an expensive deck really at all. And like I said, I don't even play the alternatives. I thought it was kind of bricky. It wasn't really needed. And, I think that Zaborg combo is, really good to overlook and not put in the deck. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Leave me some comments, talk about it. I'm going to be getting up my next deck profile here soon. I think the next one I'm going to be doing is some Cyber Dragons. Love that archetype. So, I think I'll be putting one out like that and then putting some combos with it. Well, and to go into that, you know what I mean, just to showcase, you know what I mean, the combos, what I was kind of talking about with this Zaborg here. So if you've got a couple, you know, Imcans on the field here, let's just, you know, let's just say you've got, you know, one of each here, right? So, you know, you sacrifice, you know, both of these, put out your Zaborg. And then say your opponent doesn't have a light monster to target, you target itself, you pop itself, send it to the graveyard, and then you mill 8 to the graveyard from your extra deck here, and then you know that's when you're sending these 6 for sure to the graveyard, and then you get to pop 3 cards on the field, and then you get to add 3 to your hand, any original spells or monsters. So that's where I think the board's really strong. You know, in the deck. So definitely I would consider trying that combo. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.